Greetings once again, pirates. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more One Piece. Previously, CP0 has invaded Egghead Island to assassinate Dr. Vegapunk, as well as his satellite body. With several defense systems in place, CP0 has been kept at bay, but the ever-impulsive wrathful body of Vegapunk, Atlas, went toe-to-toe with Lucci and has been left barely alive. But in the wake of that utter trouncing and folding of Atlas, Luffy has come face to face with Lucci yet again, as he and his group were trying to make their way up to the lava phase. It's rematch time, with Luffy being so much stronger than he was before. What about Lucci, who used to be on an even keel with Luffy himself? Is he really as weak as many fans believe him to be? Or has he been training? Let's find out, shall we? Alright, One Piece chapter 1069. This is a long title. All things are brought into this world with hope. Okay. And we have someone I wasn't expecting to see because I could have sworn Stussy killed him. Either this is a flashback or this is current. German Double Sixes. An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 26, Lone Shark King, Dewfields, Charitable Research Lab for Peace, Mad, Research Lab for Peace, charitable, yeah, that is leaps and bounds of dubious. Is that a flashback? Maybe it's a flashback, or was Mads actually funded by Dewfield originally? Time will tell. I don't think it's the resurgence of Mads, or maybe it is. Alright, we pick up with a lot of the researchers of Egghead running from the commotion, with them crying, "Eek! They destroyed Atlas! We're under attack! Why is Cypherpole fighting here?" As Luffy, who is carrying Bonnie, as well as Chopper and Jinbei, stand face to face with Lucci and the Seraphim S-Bear, Bartholomew Kuma. Chopper cries out, Lucci! Jinbei shudders. They're serious about getting rid of Vegapunk. Luffy yells out, "Pigeon Guy! Why are you here? What are you doing here?" Lucci, as he shifts back into his human form, says, "This is a government island." It just dawns on Luffy as he says, "Good point, we're the ones who shouldn't be here." But Chopper says, "Come on, Luffy, let's get out of here and go on up." Kaku says, "It's the Straw Hat crew, those dastardly villains, and Julie Bonnie too. But don't attack them, Lucci. Now that Straw Hat is one of the 4 emperors, we cannot fight without approval from above." Oh, that is true. Now that he's one of the emperors, clashing with them is now like are you ready to go at it with an emperor kind of situation? Bureaucracy and all that. I didn't even think about that, But Luffy realizes something and says, "Take Bonnie, Jinbei." And he tosses Bonnie over to Jinbei, who says, "Careful." Stussy says to Lucci, "Yes, each emperor has an entire operation beneath them. A little skirmish here could lead to war. Inform the Navy at once." And one of the officers says, "Yes, ma'am." I didn't even consider that. Yeah, you actually need approval to fight Luffy nowadays if you're part of the Navy. Luffy goes running over to the smoking Atlas as he yells out, "Hey!" And he's shocked by what he sees and says, "This is messed up. It's the kid from earlier." While Lucci tells Stussy, "I understand that it would be bad to fight. However," while Luffy tells Chopper, "Can you help her out?" But Chopper says, "I think this might be more up Frankie's alley." Lucci tells Luffy, "Don't interfere with this. It's an eternal matter." But Luffy stares down Lucci saying, "But she made sure we had plenty to eat." Yeah, a few people consider that Luffy would be pissed because Atlas, fed them, and that's good enough to be an ally of Luffy's. Meanwhile, at Naval Headquarters, one of the Marine officers yells out, "The Straw Hats are on Egghead Island? Why?" Sakazuki, sitting at his table, says, "You see, now things are getting complicated again. Does this mean that Vegapunk learned about what CP0 was planning?" It's that weird coincidence stuff, as one of the, I guess it's a vice admiral, says, "Yes, and it seems that they barged onto the island in response." Sakazuki says, "It's a declaration of war at this point. I wish those brats would have talked to us first." Wait, what brats? Sakazuki says, "If Vegapunk's recruited the Straw Hats to his side, then we're losing out on a major source of combat power. Where's Kizaru?" The Vice Admiral says, "He was already on his way to Egghead for a prior operation." Sakazuki says, "Then tell Lucci to wait for the Navy to arrive." The Vice Admiral says, "Yes, sir." Sakazuki says, "Do not let him do battle with Straw Hat. He will get folded." 。 Whoa! Ho ho, whoa, whoa, why does it look like that? Okay. Huh. Okay, I'll talk about when I get to that page. That's the thing about double pages, it's just like, whoa, that is, huh. But you can even see it on the other page, but you cut back to Egghead Island in a new world where you see massive explosions going off in the city as people yell, and we see more and more of the scientists running, as you see both Luffy and Lucci in their awakened forms doing battle. They went straight to awakening. That's the thing that gets me off kilter. It's just like, whoa, we didn't even mess around. Jeez. Like, I expected, like, okay, he's gonna go into Gear 4. But no, Luffy just went straight into his awakening. You see Chopper in his Kung Fu point carrying Bonnie saying, hey, take it easy, Luffy. While Jinbei carrying Atlas says, think about what you represent now, Luffy. You're gonna cause an incident. If you thought Luffy was gonna think about incidents now that he was a warlord, Jinbei, buddy, we need to have a talk about Luffy. Meanwhile, with the rest of the Straw Hats who are viewing things from the control room in the labo phase, I think it's Nami questioning the look of Luffy saying, who's that? And I think it's either Usopp or Sanjay who said, did Rob Lucci always look like that? Shaka says, quite a rare specimen, astonishing speed. It's usually the case that awakened Zoan powers absorb and control the user's personality. Yeah, okay. So this is like a special awakening where he was able to keep his mind intact, as we see Rob Lucci in his Cat Fruit model leopard awakened form. And he even has those, well, no, he has the weird billowing rings around his arms like we've seen with Yamato and with Luffy. So maybe Yamato was in awakened form when she was fighting Kaido, when they were fighting Kaido. That's, but Lucci's is black. Why? I wonder if Kaido's would have been like that too. Kaido wasn't awakened, right? Yeah, we never heard information that he was awakened. I don't know. But Lucci says, here's a news flash for you, Straw Hat. You're not the only one who's gotten stronger. As Kalka says, no, Lucci, we don't have clearance yet. See? I'm actually glad to see this because so many people were just like, nah, Lucci's gonna get folded easily. It's just like, but Lucci was so on an even keel with Luffy. If he has not trained at all, fine. But man, that would be a waste. Why not say he's trained, gotten stronger? There was always a lot of potential spoken of when it came to Rob Lucci. And here it is. Dang. Meanwhile, back in the control room, Vegapunk comes running in saying, Shaka, has the warrior in white appeared? As Frankie, Usopp and Nami are all shocked to see Vegapunk. Nami looks a little bit indifferent. Usopp looks utterly befuddled as he says, whoa, it's the real Vegapunk, but he was down there just a second ago. While Frankie is in love with the way that Vegapunk looked, Vegapunk comes up to the monitor asking Nami, tell me, what is this transformation of Straw Hats exactly? Nami says, we don't know either. Isn't it his gum-gum power? Vegapunk says, even in the oldest books of devil fruits, there is no such thing as a gum-gum fruit. I still don't know how I feel about that. Nami says, what? Usopp questions, what's that supposed to mean? He's always going gum-gum this and gum-gum that. Vegapunk says, what a beautiful sight. He looks just like a god who only appears in the oldest of texts. Sanji says, a god? He's Luffy. You know he's a moron, right? But as we see Rob Lucci slashing away at Luffy as he dodges and laughs all along the way, Vegapunk explains to the group, saying, indeed, the foolish and laughable warrior of liberation who brings smiles to all people, also known as Nika, the sun god. Nami says, Nika? Never heard of it. Vegapunk explains, you wouldn't have. It's a name that's been erased from the historical record. As Robin getting all this, I feel like she would know a few things. I love this fight. You got Luffy acting like such a Looney Tune while Lucci is just trying to slash the hell out of him. Lucci goes in for a strike. Luffy's eyes bug out of his head. And as Lucci goes in to try to just Shigan him, Luffy's literally taking his head and moving it out of the way. It's hilarious. Vegapunk explains, but as long as people wish for him, his existence will never truly disappear. All things are brought into this world with hope, yes? Even the devil fruits. Vegapunk says, every devil fruit is a possibility for human evolution that someone desired. If only I could be like this. If only I could be like that. All of those powers represent the many branches of the future of humanity. And we see both Luffy and Lucci going in for massive strike. Their hockeyed up fists clash, causing a massive crackling of power which sends them both flying backwards. I love this. I feel like this is going to be a beautifully animated fight. But people have said before, and I've heard many theories about the fact that devil fruits always seem to give the people who eat them always what they need. Not always what they want, but always what just seems to suit them, you know? Even when they don't know what they need, it always ends up being what they need to a certain degree. Yeah. As Luffy and Lucci clash, you see the researchers in the island cheering as the rest of the Straw Hats watch this battle in utter bewilderment. Vegapunk says, but the unnatural status is loathed by the sea, the mother of nature. A fitting punishment for its sin. Those with powers exist in different dimensions, dreamed up by someone else before them. This is only my theory. So you see, you don't even need to debate whether any god exists or not. Isn't it just such a fascinating world? Devil fruits are what people think humans should evolve into. A state of being. That feels a bit complicated and a little over my head. I'm sure I'll see 1,000 theory videos about this. Whoa. We then pick up with Sentomaru, who finally showed the up as he views Luffy bounding through the town laughing up a storm. Sentomaru, Navy HQ science team captain, as he comes in with his big old ass saying, "This is supposed to be my day off. Punk, what am I doing here? Cypher poles are friends. Pirates are our enemies. So I'm helping CP0 out, right?" The Seraphim then arrive on the scene, all with the boots. And man, if that's their height in comparison to Sentomaru, they are big. They're all about the same size. Big old children. They all have the weird, viewing thing on their arms that show, the liquid inside. The only difference is, I guess, S-Hawk and S-Shark have it on their wrist, while S-Snake has it on her shoulder, or on her bicep. Weird. Vegapunk says to Sentomaru, "Not the case, Sentomaru. CP0 is threatening my life, in fact." Sentomaru says, "What?" Vegapunk tells him, "Could you drive them off for me?" Sentomaru says, We want to turn me into a traitor?" Vegapunk explains, true. I should have asked your opinion first. Well, Sentomaru, let me put it this way. This is a request coming from me, the man who took you in and saved your life. So, what do you think you should do? Sentomaru is shook, saying, talk about pressure. I was wondering how that was going to go. It was one thing before when he was just the bodyguard of Vegapunk, but since now he's also a Navy HQ captain, it's and as the three Seraphim approach Kaku and the rest of the government officers, Kaku says, "Three Seraphim? That's a heavyweight matchup. Hey, S-Bear, eliminate one of them." Stussy says, "It's pointless, Kaku. They have the advantage." Sentomaru commands, "S-Bear, wipe out those agents." S-Bear starts beeping as Kaku says, "Oh, drat, of course. The authority chips we're carrying are outclassed by their privileges." Check your privilege. As S-Bear just starts raining light blaster fire across the agents as Kaku and Stussy leap out of the way. I love the madness of all this. Stussy explains to Kaku, "That's right, we don't have the same rank on the Pacifista's authority hierarchy. Even the 5 elders can't do it over a transponder snail. So the Pacifista authority hierarchy. Number 1, 5 elders. 2, Dr. Vegapunk and Estella and Satellite. Number 3, Sentomaru. Number 4, authority chip owners." Okay. So they would have to have one of the satellites there to command them. If only Atlas wasn't taken down. Because that just means they're going to go after Sentomaru, right? Kaku says, "Also, if we destroy the Seraphim, that's a blow to the government's property. You didn't think this through, Lucci." Yeah, Lucci just wanted a fight. As we see Luffy do gum gum mole pistol, and his hand just goes into the earth, comes up underneath Rob Lucci, still with the earth, because the earth has been turned into rubber thanks to Luffy's awakened ability, and it just stretches the earth, and he just punches Lucci in the stomach. This is a hell of an attack. Meanwhile, Sentomaru commands the Seraphim, saying, "Let's go then. S-Snake, take the Straw Hats to the vacuum rocket. Guide them inside the Frontier Dome. S-Hawk, S-Shark, hold back CP0. While Jinbei looks back and says, "Chopper, I'm not sure if I should believe my eyes." It's just like, is that me with darker skin but looks younger but is the same size as me now? Chopper says as they both run away, "I know what you mean. They look familiar to me too." Jinbei says, "All the ones with dark skin over there resemble the old 7 warlords. Did they make clones of us?" Meanwhile, Luffy goes floating over to Sentomaru saying, "Hey, Axe Boy, long time no see." While Sentomaru says, "Don't call me by the name of my weapon, Straw Hat. We're enemies, so you're gonna help Punk escape, huh?" Luffy says, "Yeah, he asked me to. It's cool." Sentomaru sighs and says, "Don't know if that's supposed to be reassuring or not, but I hear you're an emperor now, and you got that weird look going on." But all of a sudden, just without even missing a beat, like I knew it was gonna happen, Rob Lucci just slashes Sentomaru quick, fast, and in a hurry with his hand pistol, taking Sentomaru out of the equation as Luffy cries out, "Axe Boy!" And as Sentomaru falls to the ground, Lucci says, "We only need to erase their control power. Now you follow our orders, Seraphim." Ooh. Man, I love it. I love it. It just shows the ruthless nature of Rob Lucci. Dude. And the thing is, I caught up with One Piece around the time of Enies Lobby. I started kind of getting spoilers around Water 7, and I think the real first spoiler I got was the spoiler that Frankie was going to join the Straw Hats, but that was before he joined the Straw Hats. Like, Oda did a cover spread that was like, Straw Hat Pirates or Mugiwara Pirates versus CP9, with Frankie on the team of the Straw Hat, and then the CP9 agents. But it was when Luffy had only just arrived at Eddie's lobby off of the train, and it was like, but Frankie hasn't been confirmed to be a Straw Hat. That always caught me off guard, because I'm just like, I'm reading and I'm like, but is Frankie already a Straw Hat? When did he become a Straw Hat? I felt like I missed something. But that was around the time that I caught up with things. So one of my first major fights that I saw in One Piece was the fight of the Straw Hats versus CP9. Luffy versus Lucci. And that was such a big clash, because Luffy had taken on plenty of guys who kind of outclassed him before, but Luffy versus Rob Lucci was just one of the most raw, visceral, all out, balls to the walls clashes out there. And even here, well, it does feel like Luffy is outclassing Lucci to a certain degree. Lucci just feels like he still is just so conniving, like he's looking for any angle to give him the upper hand. It's that ruthlessness that I've kind of missed up until now. He's so cool. That's why I was like, man, I don't know if Lucci's just gonna get folded easily by Luffy. People make it sound like it's just gonna be like, oh, it's done. Luffy defeated Kaido. And it's like, yeah, Luffy defeated Kaido after struggling against the guy for a while. And it wasn't just the one Luffy versus Kaido fight. It was Kaido versus the Scabbers, Kaido versus the Worst Generation, Kaido versus Yamato, then Kaido versus Luffy multiple times. And Luffy got his ass kicked multiple times. It straight up took Kaido deciding, I'm gonna take this fist head on with my own attack. And it's just like, if he just got out of the way, he might have been able to keep going. So, the Luffy versus Kaido comparability is shaky to me. Like, it feels like Gear 5 Luffy is on perfectly even keel with Katakuri going all out. You know, not so much Katakuri who has injured himself and is essentially teaching Luffy what to do. It's like, no. It feels like when Luffy got to Gear 5, he was at a point where he could go toe-to-toe with Katakuri, no additives, no extra things going on. Bam, they got this. And that's what Rob Lucci feels like. Like, that height of power. This is someone who has reached the highest of highs and could go even further, or this could be a massive fall for him. But if anyone was going to get like a massive power-up, it was going to be Rob Lucci. Like, as of now, I put Rob Lucci at that same high as I would put Katakuri and Doflamingo. Because those two, geez, I still consider them like the toppity top, it's, without making it all the way to Warlord status. I mean, to Emperor status. And what we define Emperor power as. Because, with everything with Luffy, like, with people saying it's just like, oh, calling Luffy, oh, he's a emperor now. It's like, yeah, but it still feels like Luffy could be toppled by just a really powerful dude if push came to shove. Someone with enough tenacity, grit, and experience and power behind them. And if anyone was going to give Luffy a run for their money, it was going to be Lucci, now stronger than he was before. And I'm all in for it. This is hype. This is exciting. I'm so ready for this. But seriously, do I think Luffy will lose to Rob Lucci? No. But that is a situation where Luffy can't let his guard down with this guy. Lucci is not someone you completely ignore, because Lucci is conniving and he will look for any advantage. Luffy thinks very straightforward. He's like, I beat Lucci, it's done. Lucci's thinking from all the angles. Injure Straw Hat, wear him down. Oh what? Sentomaru's in command of the Seraphim and we're not? Bam, take down Sentomaru. Seraphim, you're under our control. Do as much damage as possible. Lucci looks for the angle, and that's what makes him dangerous. So, I still believe Luffy will win this, but Lucci will do as much damage as possible in the process, and I'm interested to see where this goes. This is so fascinating. And now, a lot of the other Straw Hats know about the whole Sneaker situation as well. But the belief that devil fruits are what people believe evolution is. Or should be. I don't know. Some of the things Vegapunk was saying, I don't know. I think I may need another phrasing of that. I need some explanations. What does Vegapunk mean exactly? Is he saying that devil fruits were always man-made creations? Or that they come from the wills of people? Are they magical artifacts? Or are they something more? And what person went out and thought, hey, I know what the final step in human evolution should be? Leopard Man. I don't know, it's interesting. But I've said enough. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you think this fight between Luffy and Lucci is gonna go down? Again, Luffy will win. But again, there's probably a world of damage that will be done by Lucci. And there's always the possibility that Lucci will accomplish what he came here to do and kill Vegapunk. All of Vegapunk before he leaves. The goal here is not to eliminate Luffy. Don't forget that. But again, let me know your thoughts. Also remember to like, subscribe, bell, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din and I hope to see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.